Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Not only another video, but as well another sneak peek, because today we want to take a look at the new signature defense of Townhall 13. A lot of people already thought, okay, the Giga Inferno Tower is going to be the new signature defense for the new town level, but that's not the case. We're having the Scattershot, a new defense for the maxed Townhall level. I will today explain to you guys how this new defense works, how you guys can work around that, how you guys should use it in your base, and basically everything you need to know about this new building in Clash of Clans. You can see right now it has two areas. The first thing is where it can hit defense or enemy troops and where it can't. It's basically working like a mortar. At the same time, it's dealing way more damage than a lot of other defenses in the village. For example, the cannon is dealing 130 DPS, while the new Scattershot is dealing 180. Once again, all of those numbers can still change, but so far it's dealing crazy amount of damage. Another big thing is that the shots are basically splattering around, and this means if troops are behind the main target, they're still dying, like this wizard for example. Then I have to mention that there are two new defenses basically, because we're getting two Scattershots in Townhall 13, which basically means there's a lot of splash damage going around, which means I will show you guys how those really important troops behave against the Scattershot and what you guys have to look out for, because a couple of troops don't really stand a chance against the new defense. The king at the same time is not like getting threatened too much by this new defense. You guys can see it. The king lost around like one part of his health, but not too much. The queen on the other hand is getting already way more damage from the Scattershot. You can see it, how much damage this Scattershot is actually doing. And a really important thing is that if you're not hitting your queen ability in time, the Scattershot hit might kill your queen during her queen ability. This is happening pretty easily, but let's take a look at the next troop. The next troop is going to be the loons. And for example, those were like around 12 loons, and they do not really stand a chance, like not at all. The Scattershot is just melting through them, and this shows how much splash damage is getting added to the village just to like basically counter the crazy amount of troops you can place on Townhall 13. Hawk Riders is basically the same as for loons. It maybe feels even stronger against Hawk Riders, but well, this hurts. This really hurts. But there are a couple of other troops we want to take a look at. For example, miners. Basically, miners are the same as Hawk Riders for the Scattershot, because miners are grouping up, which means the Scattershot has an easy time to wreck them. The same, like I already showed, with loons and Hawk Riders, but let's take a look at a couple of other troops. For example, more tanky troops. What happens to dragons? We have 4 dragons against the Scattershot, and even though dragons are super tanky, you see how much damage this single defense is dealing to them. It's not about like a Scattershot, I don't know, like is killing easily all of the dragons, but it's really easily getting them really low. The next thing is that, once again, as soon as the Scattershot is hitting a troop, then in behind the troops will die as well. The same with the P.E.K.K.A. and the bowlers. I mean, for P.E.K.K.A. Smash, you guys know this already, that you have kind of always P.E.K.K.A. and then in behind a couple of bowlers. Well, with this new defense, the bowlers won't stay alive for too long. Another thing is that the bad spell will be nerfed a lot with this new defense, because you not only have to care now about the Inferno Towers, about the Wizard Towers, now you're getting 2 more defenses which can target ground and air and are dealing splash damage. So this means bats will have a tough time. But before everyone is like, oh my god, Townhall 13, no one can triple that, that's not true. There are a couple of options to work around. Let's take a look first at Queen Charge Lalo, and then we're getting into the more spammy strategies, which are way more easy to execute for everyone who is scared of Queen Charges or Lalo in general. But let's take a look first at Queen Charge. For the Queen Charge, most of the time, obviously, you have to take out the enemy queen. In addition to that, it's really nice if you can get 1 or even 2 Scattershots out of the way, because we saw already why. Because, well, the loons were basically dying left and right against the Scattershot. So if you can take out the Scattershot with your Queen Charge, then you're free to go. But now let's check out the Queen Charge. The Queen is getting into the base, getting a couple of multi-inferno towers, and can reach the enemy queen and a couple of Scattershots as well. From now on, we will try to war break the queen in once again to make sure that we are getting even the second Scattershot. But after that, even though we got a lot of value out of the way, we still have this crazy Giga Inferno Tower against our loons. And you saw how much damage this defense is dealing to those not that tanky troops like loons, for example. So let's check out how it works. We're starting off with a slammer just to tank a couple of defenses, and then we're starting off with our loons and hounds, and obviously the warden. So hound, the slammer is already down, but we are having a couple of loons more, and the first hound is coming in, and we try to get everything into the base, into the town hall basically, because that's the most important defense for us right now, that we're getting that really early out of the way. So town hall's getting activated, Inferno Tower is starting to completely demolish my loons, but the warden is following, the loons are getting into the town hall, and it's not dealing too much damage. But, and that's, I mean, you guys can see it, I do not have any haste spells left over, which means my loons are so damn slow, it's crazy. Like, I feel like with this change of the Giga Inferno Tower, like this big slow, I feel like sweepers are getting more and more important, because troops, if they're that slow and they're getting swept away, they will never ever catch up. Even with the haste, I feel like that is not really enough to make them fast enough to get against a sweeper. So always keep in mind, try to take out the scatter shots early with your queen charge, and well, just hope that your loons are fast enough to get through the back end as soon as the town hall is down. But like I said, I told you guys, I want to get into a couple of other strategies as well, and we want to take a look at one of the strategies which I posted just recently on my channel, which is the Ice Golem, the Witches, and the Boulders, and the 8 Earthquakes. So let's check it out, how it works. We were using the new Siege Machine as well, once again as funnel purpose on the outside. We're getting into the base with the Earthquakes, using your early Warden ability just to get through the Town Hall. Once again, the Town Hall slowing down basically everything, but this is not too bad because we have our Ice Golems in front, and this is the big counter to the Scattershots as well. Even though as soon as the Scattershots are hitting the Ice Golems, troops in behind are getting damage as well, but the big thing about this is that the Ice Golems are freezing the Scattershots pretty easily. And if you're having Inferno Towers and Scattershots, the back end frozen with the Ice Golems, well, then your Witches, they do not care, even though they're kind of squishy and everything, but they're getting easily through the rest of the base, and all of the Inferno Towers are down. We can still use our Queen ability, P.E.K.K.A, and even more Witches are still alive at the bottom, and this looks really good and looks like another triple. Since I showed you guys already what are still good strategies and what you guys can still go for when it comes down to Town Hall 13, we want to take a look at the big losers for this Town Hall update, or like what we know so far basically, which means what is the army composition, or what are army compositions right now which feel like the worst. And I think one thing which comes to mind is obviously, well, the mass Hawk Rider attack. I personally do not feel too bad. I never really liked the strategy, but I feel like the strategy is getting harder and harder to execute because, well, you're having now two defenses in the base which not only could kill your skeletons, but they could always pretty much one-shot your Hawk Riders if you're not paying attention. So this is really, really tough. But let's check out the test attack, and I would show you guys what exactly I mean. And this base has no clan castle, just to make sure that it's not like otherwise I wouldn't even gotten close to what I got in the end. So let's check it out. We have the Hawk Riders coming in soon. I'm using the new Siege. I feel like the new Siege it's kind of nice. Like, you can use it in multiple scenarios. I don't know whether a ram or I don't know, like a slammer would have been better, but I feel like the new Siege is kind of nice because it's tanking everything. The P.E.K.K.A is tanking everything. So far it's looking good. Now the Hawk Riders are coming in, and I know it's not the best Hawk Rider job, but I just want to get you guys an idea of what happens if those Hawks are getting into the core against these scatter shots. So the first hits of the scatter shots are coming in. The tornado trap is over there as well. We're raging everything, using the freeze and the skeletons and the warden, and somehow it's surviving most of these things. But if you thought like, okay, scatter shots are survived, we're good to go, and then the Inferno Towers are getting in, and it's even worse. So in this base, there were no springs, or nearly no springs, no clan castle, and still this wasn't even close. So I don't know. I feel like Hog Riders, or at least Mass Hog Riders, Queen Charge Hogs are still fine, but I feel like Mass Hogs are one of the big losers of this update so far. And I feel like the same about Suilalo as well a little bit, but maybe let's see what is coming, because we're not over yet. Like, this was only another sneak peek. There are hopefully more to come. If you want to know all of the new stuff, make sure to follow this channel and I will show you guys everything I know as fast as possible. So see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye bye.